The mask. Everyone believed she had it all together. At least, that's what everyone thought. Confident, driven, always the one people ran to for advice, support, a listening ear. She smiled at the right moments, nodded in the right meetings, laughed at the right jokes. But no one ever asked how she was really doing, because no one suspected a thing. She was the strong one, the one who never broke, the one who always figured it out. But what they didn't see, what she never showed, was the weight she carried in silence, the insomnia, the tightness in her chest, the way her hands trembled in the dark. Every day she played her role, and every night she fell apart, alone. She had built a mask so perfect that even she forgot what was underneath it. But that mask was cracking, and soon her pain would speak louder than her performance. The childhood she never spoke of, behind the perfect image, was a little girl who never felt safe. She grew up in a house full of noise, but not the good kind. Shouting, doors slamming, long silences that hurt more than words. Love was a rare guest, but fear lived there. She learned early to stay small, to be quiet, to never need too much, because needing things only led to disappointment, because speaking up only brought punishment. She watched her parents break each other with words, and sometimes with worse. And as a child, she made a silent vow. I will never be like them. I will be strong, invisible, unbreakable. But trauma doesn't disappear. It waits. It buries itself deep, only to echo louder when you try to silence it. And now, years later, those echoes were starting to rise again. Achievements that couldn't silence the pain. She did everything right. Top of her class, early promotions. People praised her discipline, her drive, her ambition. She bought the house, drove the car, posted the milestone, but none of it quieted the ache. Every achievement was like a new layer of armor, meant to protect, but really just made her feel heavier. She told herself, if I just work harder, I'll feel better. If I just keep going, the pain will fade. But the truth? She wasn't building a life. She was building a fortress. Not to keep people out, but to keep the past in. Behind every award, every smile, was a little girl still wondering, why didn't anyone protect me? Why did I have to become so strong, so young? And no amount of success could answer that question. The day it all collapsed. It started like any other day. She got up, made coffee, put on her everything's fine face. But inside, she was unraveling. The deadlines, the messages, the pressure, they piled up like bricks on her chest. Someone made a harmless comment. Something small. Something she normally would have shrugged off. But this time, she broke. Right there. In the middle of the office, the car, the grocery store. Wherever it was, she just broke. Tears she'd held in for years came flooding out. She couldn't breathe. Her hands shook. Her vision blurred. It wasn't drama. It wasn't weakness. It was trauma, finally speaking. And it spoke louder than her mask ever could. People were shocked. Are you okay? What's going on? She wanted to scream. I've been drowning for years, you just never saw it. But she couldn't find the words. Only tears, only silence, the flashbacks that wouldn't stop. After the collapse, the memories came rushing in. She'd spent years keeping them locked away. But now, they flooded back, uninvited. The sound of her father's voice yelling, the look in her mother's eyes when she left, the nights she cried into her pillow, praying someone, anyone, would notice. They weren't just memories. They were moments that shaped her silence, that carved fear into her foundation. She tried to push them down again, to distract herself with work, screens, schedules, but they kept coming. In dreams, in triggers, in moments of stillness. Her past wasn't done with her, because healing doesn't come by forgetting. It comes by facing what you swore you'd never look at again. And so, for the first time in her life, she stopped running. She sat with the memory, the pain, the questions, not to relive them, but to finally understand them. The decision to finally heal. She realized something powerful. Surviving wasn't the same as healing. She had survived, for years, by pretending, by performing, by staying busy enough to avoid the pain. But now, she didn't want to survive anymore. She wanted to live. So she made a decision. Not a loud, dramatic one, a quiet one, just between her and God. I'm ready. She started therapy. Not to get fixed, but to feel safe enough to be broken. She picked up books she once avoided, sat in silence and let her soul speak. She journaled through the pain, cried without guilt, prayed without needing answers, and day by day, she remembered who she was before the world told her to hide. The healing wasn't fast, it wasn't linear, but it was real. For the first time, she gave herself permission to fall apart, so she could finally come back together. The pain that became her power. She used to hate her story, used to hide it like a scar, thought it made her weak, damaged, less than. But healing changes things. It doesn't erase the past, it redefines it. Now, when she looked in the mirror, she didn't see a broken girl pretending to be strong. She saw a warrior who carried generations of silence and chose to speak. Her pain became her platform. Her wounds became wisdom. Her voice became a light for others still in the dark. She began to share, in small ways at first, a message to a friend, a social post, a whisper in a support group, and to her surprise, people listened. Because truth recognizes truth, and healing, it's contagious. She wasn't a victim of her past anymore. She was a vessel, a reminder that you can walk through hell and still come out holy. She doesn't wear a mask anymore. She still has tough days, still feels the weight of old wounds now and then. But there's one thing she never does anymore: hide. She no longer wears the mask, no longer pretends to be invincible, because she finally understood. Real strength isn't silence. It's honesty. It's standing in your truth even when your voice shakes. It's looking someone in the eye and saying, "I'm healing," and that's enough. Now, she lives lighter. Not because life got easier, but because she stopped carrying it alone. She's not afraid to cry, not ashamed to rest, not too proud to ask for help. And more than anything, she no longer hides her story, because she knows, somewhere, someone is carrying the same silence. And when they hear her voice, maybe, just maybe, they'll find the courage to free theirs too. She's not who she was. She's something stronger, whole,